Modern education as it stands today in the cultural ethos is something practical, something utilitarian, something that will eventually get you a high-paying job.
We've all been asked the question by our students, what's the point of this? Where is this gonna help me get a job?
High stakes testing, especially the SAT and ACT, really do drive mainstream curriculum.
The ACT, the SAT, and lots of other standardized tests leave you with a model of education where students are asking, if it's not on the ACT or the SAT, why do I need to know it?
Things like literature, theology, philosophy, students don't think applies to them because they don't think that it's gonna help them in the workplace.
I think what CLT tries to equip parents and students to do is recognize that education is about becoming more human.
The mission of CLT is to reconnect knowledge and virtue.
John Henry Newman discusses the idea of a university producing virtue and producing more humane individuals.
Most of the jobs that even kids in high school are going to have when they graduate college don't exist yet.
The purpose of education is intelligence plus character.
Those two have to come together to really form a good human being. If you only have the one or the other, as C.S. Lewis says, you only create a more clever devil.
When you cultivate a love for learning and the ability to think critically, students are able to learn quickly and they're able to adapt and reason and engage even with people that they don't agree with.
You can teach good people the nuances of the job, but the quality of the person is what makes the work environment what it is, and that's what really won me over.
CLT is drawing from the best of which has been thought and said throughout history, the authors that have most contributed to society and culture. SAT and ACT are definitely not doing this.
SAT prep courses that are very expensive are offered only to certain economic backgrounds, and to me that doesn't create a level playing field.
Famously, there was a passage on a California standardized test that was just a vacuum cleaner manual. Why do that when you could put something beautiful in front of them?
It was always about the cultivation of virtue. We have this great treasure that we ought to be passing on to the next generation, and assessment is a main way we can do that.
The CLT gives everybody an opportunity to be successful.
The best education is rooted in timeless literature, great philosophy that is centered on the big why questions that really help students to be curious about the world that they're living in.
I would say with the CLT, I actually enjoyed taking it.
It seemed like it was actually helping my education. It wasn't tedious. I didn't have to go and flip back and forth because I was actually paying attention to the reading.
Started out fairly simple, but then built and built and built.
They take a test that is half the length of the SAT. 2 hours, they're in and out, they get results the same day.
To be able to right away go back and look at your results, it's fresh in your mind versus I still haven't gotten the PSAT results back.
Overall, student experience is just better on the CLT.
One of my main struggles with standardized testing in general is the stress levels. The CLT significantly decreased that.
I think there was more room for a great mind to show.
It can sometimes feel like testing is a distraction from education. I think that's where CLT is different. The whole point of it is to connect back, point back to the classroom and connect back to the education that we're receiving.
I became convinced that if you change the test, you can change everything else.
We're not trying to repeat Mozart or be Aristotle. We're really trying to bring Aristotle and Mozart as ingredients into new minds to revive and bring new fire into the world in this next generation.
I don't think it matters if you go into a big public school or if you go into a small private liberal arts school. If you're in 11th grade, you don't have all the answers to all the chemistry problems. Ultimately, you're going to school for 4 years. You're going to be a human for the rest of your life. I think the CLT is just the best way to showcase that if you're faced by something that is challenging, that is difficult, you'll be able to prevail.